Have you ever walked into a room and immediately wondered if you belong there? If the people around you were sizing you up or quietly questioning your place? I used to let those things dictate my confidence, but something shifted. Today, I want to talk about what it means to belong without permission, to know your worth so deeply that you don't need anyone else's validation to take up space. Hi, I'm Dr. Phyllis, and welcome to the Own Your Yes podcast. And this is episode 104, Belonging Without Permission, saying yes to your worth. Recently, I went to the beauty salon or coloring bar to get my roots colored. Yes, I do. With pride, I get my roots colored because I like to. And as Tabitha Brown says, that's my business. But I recently went to have my hair colored. And I went in and sat down, was greeted by the receptionist, and there was another client there. And if you've ever been to what they call a color bar, is where multiple clients sit around the area that has mirrors in it, and there's just multiple people getting their hair colored at one time, and the colorist, the expert who comes and mixes your color and applies your color, and you all sit there, with your own assigned colorist. And when the time is up, then you go to the back, you get your hair washed and conditioned, and go on about your business. So I arrived and sat down because I knew this was going to be my time, my moment, my self-care moment. And because I had put it off because I had to take care of some caregiving duties, so I postponed the appointment. So I was really looking forward to this. So sat down, and immediately I became aware after I was greeted that there was another customer, and she looked directly in my face. And the kind of like long stare, like, there's one thing when you meet eyes with someone and then you kind of smile and you keep moving. But she was just like looking at me, and I don't know. I'm not going to assume what the motivation was. You can fill in the blanks. I don't know. I don't know why she just was staring at me. I don't know if it was because I wear locks. And she was trying to figure out now, how does that work? Or she had, or if it was some other attribute that I had that, that she was reason she was looking at me. But I met her eyes and I said, "Hi, how are you?" And because now, again, let me add a little more to the context. She was reading her book. Her head was down and she was reading her book when I arrived. So again, after I was greeted and I sat down, she was staring me right in my face. So I just smiled at her quite comfortably and said, "Hi, how are you?" And she didn't, apologize on why she was staring. But she said, "I'm fine. How are you?" I said, "I'm so blessed." And I turned around and started doing what I needed to do. But what I had to laugh at myself, because there was a time, sis, that I would have just been feeling uncomfortable or that I didn't belong. And I'm going to admit, when I first started going there, I felt a little strange. But now after time, I'm like, you know what? I don't. I go in, enjoy my appointment, and leave. And there have been so many different times in my life when I looked back over where it was easy to get that feeling, that apprehension, or that feeling of not belonging, or almost like needing someone to validate that I was in the room. But the other day, it all came full circle. I really didn't care. I knew I belonged there. I knew why I was there. I had worth and value, belonged right with everybody else with different types of hair, different type of hairstyles, different type of shades of skin color, whatever. I was there. And so it really made me think of you, because I realized at that point the other day, I don't need anyone's permission to belong. And so my point to you is that when you embrace your God-given worth, you no longer measure yourself by others' reactions or approval. You belong because God created you with purpose. Confidence is not arrogance. It's alignment with truth. Let me say that one again. Confidence is not arrogance. It's alignment with truth. Alignment with truth. So how do you move from this self-consciousness to self-confidence? From shrinking back to sitting tall? I want to walk through with you a framework or approach that can help you say yes to your worth. And I call this the worth approach, WORTH. First is to walk in truth. Walk in truth. Your worth comes from God, not comparison. And you can find this also noted in the Bible, John 8:32. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. The next is own your space. Stop apologizing for existing or being present. You have the right. You have the right to be where God has placed you. Now, I really want to emphasize this one, because it's not about what other people do. Even if God has worked through them to extend an opportunity to you, that was God's doing. You have the right to be where God has placed you. Next is release the gaze. Let go of fear of who's watching or what they're thinking. Their gaze, their look doesn't define you. And lastly, trust God's design. You were created intentionally. Your personality, your presence, your path all serve God's purpose. So W, walk in truth. O, own your space. R, release the gaze. T, trust God's design. And then H is hold your head high. Now I want to say that 1,000 times. Hold your head high. Confidence is an outward reflection of inner alignment. Carry yourself as one who knows her value. Carry yourself as one who knows her value. So to repeat again, the worth approach Walk in truth, own your space, release your gaze, release the gaze, trust God's design, and hold your head high. This week, sis, I want you to practice owning your space. Walk into rooms without shrinking, stop apologizing unnecessarily, and acknowledge that you belong without needing anyone else's permission. I also want to give you an exercise to do, some journaling prompts, some journaling questions to answer this week. Number 1, where in my life do I still seek permission to belong? Number 2, how would my day feel different if I fully said yes to my worth? And thirdly, write one affirmation beginning with I belong because, and repeat it daily this week as a source of encouraging yourself that you belong. I want to leave you with this verse for this week, found in Psalm 139:14. And I'm reading from the New King James Version. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. I want you to meditate on this as you are speaking to God. Because really what you're saying is, I will praise you, God, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. You're no mistake, sis. You have worth. You are worthy. And you belong. You don't need permission. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Your worth is not up for debate. So remember this week to say yes to your worth and watch how God shifts the way you show up in every space, in every area of your life. I pray that this episode has been helpful to you, has renewed, refreshed, nourished your spirit, your emotions. And I look forward to seeing you here again next week on the Own Your Yes podcast. Love you much. Take care. Bye for now.